Well, National Coordinator of the Youth Rights Campaign, Adaramoye Michael, joined us in the studio for more discussions on the hashtag Occupy Lagos Plan protest and other matters related to this. It's good to have you join us in the studio. First off, let me say this. This can be described as a second wave of the NSAS protest, agitation. What have you observed so far since this morning?
Thank you very much. From all indication, what happened this morning and what the state is embarking on, it's something that is unimaginable for a democratic state. I mean, we've heard a report of how protesters were brutally attacked and even arrested just for protesting peacefully. So I think what the state is merely doing is a continuation of what it did during the first wave of the NSAS, just to attack innocent protesters. And I think this stands for condemnable by everyone. We have to condemn this act of brutality. It is what should not be heard of, but it is obvious now that the Buhari regime is more or less like a dictatorial regime.
But based on the sections, let me bring you in on this. Based on the sections 39 and 40, which grants, citizens the right to freedom of expression, freedom to gather and associate with persons. Just oppose this with what the police and the Lagos State government and the federal government has said, that if this protests, goes as planned, there are disruptive and shadow parties trying to infiltrate and then cause mayhem, and they cited different reasons, security reasons, the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't you see that this is enough reason, for anyone to shelve the protest, given the security concerns that we have now?
Well, I don't see any reason in what, the excuses of the police force. Because, like you said, our citizens are guaranteed the right to express themselves and also hear their view too. Because what the police have done, in another word, is to declare war on innocent Nigerians. Because I don't know the state of security that would have necessitated such brutal attack on citizens. Because as a youth, we have always expressed that our protest at every point in time is a peaceful protest, and we don't have any intention to engage in violent activities. And in places where there have been violence, it is obviously due to the intervention of the state in sponsoring talks and even fascist elements to disrupt protests. And we've seen that.
That cannot be. That's an allegation that cannot be founded.
And we've seen that in places, not just in Lagos, and even places where protests have occurred. So I think even today, what happened today itself buttress the point I'm making. Because people who protested today were there peacefully. And the violence started immediately. The police started intervening by arresting protesters. So clearly, protesters have organized themselves peacefully, but it is only the intervention of the state that continues to make the protest violence by attacking innocent protesters, which ought not to be.
So if you're in the position to advise the government, what do you say they should be doing differently to ensure that what is happening now does not snowball? Because I don't think anyone wants to see what happened on October the 20th, 2020. No one wants to see that happen again. What do you think the government should be doing differently to ensure that what is happening now does not snowball into what we saw last year?
Well, what is playing out clearly is the responsibility of the government. First, the failure of the panel itself is now obvious to everyone, because for over 3 months now, the panel has been set up, that has not been able to address anything fundamental. The demands of the youth. Today, those that ought to have gotten justice are still yet to get justice. Still have many youth who were injured on October 20 and are still in pain from those from those attacks till now too. So that the government itself has not been responsible in terms of meeting the demands of Nigerians. So that it is then expected for Nigerians to feel that this protest itself must continue, because all of the demands that have been stated by the youth in terms of police brutality or so have not been met. And even today, you see a protest against police brutality, and yet you see police right there against brutality, people who were protesting against police brutality. To show that the government itself is remorseless about what it has done. So that these are things that will continue to fuel the anger of youth and Nigerians against such regime. Like I said, from what the government has been doing recently, it shows that the government itself has abandoned anything democracy in its own dictionary. It has embarked on full-blown dictatorship and against citizens. So I think in fact, it's not advised to give the government that to, of course, appreciate what the youth have been doing, and in fact, in terms of being peaceful, and to also encourage them to continue in such manner, because, like I said,
okay,
part of the demands for justice have not been met, either for the people that are killed or so, and. Now the panel to now come up with a decision
but you know that the
to
panel of
reopen
inquiry is still ongoing. They have a 6-month mandate, which, you know, they say that after the 6-month mandate, we will not see what the panel will come up with. But I'm afraid that we might have to leave it there. A national coordinator of the Youth Rights Campaign, Adaramoye Michael, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
It's my pleasure.